was explaining why I'm wearing a hat. And it is based upon the ancient Jewish mystical practices of the Kabbalah. Because the back of my head is open, the back crown of my head is open. I have a flat spot, like a channel that goes down the back of my head, my skull. As I was saying, it's similar to a baby, an infant's soft spot on the top of their head that's open for about a year. And then it slowly closes and hardens. With Kundalini, awakened Kundalini, the back crown actually softens and it opens. And it happened, it cannot happen until you awaken Kundalini and the energy blasts open all 7 chakras. It's very painful when it is opening. Your skull is opening. And mine was kind of in a couple of sessions. It would be very, very sensitive. I couldn't wear like a hair clip or a ponytail or anything like that when it was opening. It was just really sensitive. The actual like hair follicles hurt. And it happened like for a couple of weeks, and then it let up, and then it happened again for another couple of weeks. It happened in stages. It's just normal now. It doesn't hurt. If I were to be hit on the head, it would hurt, just like if you were to be hit on the head, it would hurt. But the actual opening is done at the moment for there. So I was going to explain a couple of symbols. The Freemasons have a lot of symbols that pertain to Kundalini also. And I interacted on a Kundalini website on Facebook with a gentleman, and I asked him, he was trying to force an issue that I did not believe was true. There's no validity to the truth of it. And so to test him on his knowledge, I said, okay, do you know what this means? And I asked him if he knew what the apron represented in Masonic symbolism, Freemason Masonic symbolism. And he would not respond back. And so I explained to him that the Masonic apron represents the thumping of the solar plexus and abdominals during Kundalini awakening. And what actually happens is it acts like a bellows, like a fireplace bellows, and it releases a chemical throughout my entire anatomy called surfactant, and it is in the cells of the linings of my lungs and in my abdominals around like your liver and intestines and kidneys, and this surfactant lubricates and expands those areas, the linings around my vital organs, so that when I Merkaba, when I spin, when I fly, then those organs are protected, and I do not gain weight and inflate like a balloon. It's at a cellular level. Anyway, so the Masonic apron represents the thumping, like Bambi's little thumper, the thumping of my solar plexus, which acts as a bellows and releases this chemical called surfactant around my vital organs, so that I'm not damaged during flight. It's very complex. Hopefully your scientists will stop cutting out people's organs and learn about the vitality of every organ of our body being important, even the gallbladder. Even though you might not know what it means right now, everything has a purpose, and it must remain intact as much as possible. So, so that is the apron of the Masonic symbol. The kippah, or any of the head coverings really from all the different cultures around the world, symbolize covering the top of your head as a protected from the energies when you have awakened Kundalini. Gosh, there's so much. So another kind of myth or false teaching on the internet as it relates to meditation. It's a primary Buddhist practice, although it's throughout all cultures and becoming quite popular in America over the past, say, 20 years. Meditation was the primary method I used to awaken Kundalini. I tried a variety of types since I was new to meditating, and I listened to videos, I listened to, I can't even remember, it's been so long, I can't remember who they were, but one was like a soft music one was like of nature sounds, like a lightly running stream or a waterfall. Another one was where you count your breath. I could never do all that stuff. I would forget to count, and it was just too crazy. So I just learned to sit, and it took a couple of weeks, and I attained no mind, which is when the mind goes quiet and you don't hear all that chatter going on. You don't have the chatter is all the thoughts, all your thoughts. You think about what you haven't done, what you need to do. Memories pop up. All of that has to be quieted, and so that's no mind. So on the internet, I have read about people saying, "Oh, I opened my third eye, and it's so great." Well, you can't open your third eye on your own. When you meditate, you learn to sit quiet, and then it takes sometimes years, sometimes people never evolve beyond just peaceful meditative relaxation. But in order to awaken Kundalini, I also did a practice called Raha Yoga, and it was just a breathing technique that I did every morning and every night. And there was this little red book that I have. It's pretty thick, but it's a small little red book called Raha Yoga. And I did not understand all the Hindu terms of Pingala, Ida, and Pingala, and all of this stuff. I just didn't get it. So I really didn't read the book. I just practiced the breathing, and so I didn't even know what I was doing. But when I first awakened Kundalini, it feels like a slow, like a top, that toy top that you can spin, and when it slows down, it kind of wobbles, and that's what it feels like when you first awaken Kundalini. It's in your root chakra, and so you feel this kind of wobble, kind of like when I would start to spin or something, I kind of move in a wobble, and then as it speeds up, it gets faster and faster and faster. Well, that's exactly what happens inside your anatomy, inside. And so you feel this kind of wobble inside, and then it speeds up, and it goes faster and faster and faster. And it has to go really, really fast in order to ascend up your chakra tree. And so as it moves through each chakra, which can take weeks or months, it cleanses each one. If one is out of balance, they're called wheels of light. If one is out of balance, and based upon our culture, we all have chakras that are out of balance. Beliefs influence it. Family practices, past traumas, current traumas, all of that has to be cleaned. And so as it moves up and it opens each chakra, I call it blasting them open. And they have to be opened in order. You can't open your third eye by meditating today. There's no special way to sit during meditation. You don't have to sit like this, and you don't have to sit for 10 hours a day. When I meditated, I only sat for like 20 minutes. The longest I sat was almost an hour, and that was like once. Anyway, when the Kundalini awakens and it starts to ascend, it's a very slow process. It takes years. It's tied to cosmic energies, equinoxes, moon cycles. And in order to open the third eye, you cannot just go on the internet and say, ooh, I had a tingling sensation in my forehead. Divine actually opens your third eye with severe solar CMEs and gamma ray energy, and it hurts like someone just stabbed you in the head with a sword. It hurts that bad. It's really painful. And the Hindus have kept that tradition alive with the beautiful red markings or stars and tattoos and emblems in the third eye area between your eyes. They've also kept that tradition alive by the charmed serpent in the basket. That's all relating to awakening Kundalini. When the crown chakra was opened, 6 weeks after my third eye was opened, I actually went out of body. I don't think I died then. I don't know. But I remember looking back at my body and just kind of going, bye, and I left. And everything changed after that. Then I had the 3 nights of the dark soul and all of that other kind of gunk, and then I had the bliss. So it has to happen in order. The internet is full of gurus and yogis trying to say, I have the way, and they don't. And there's no special way to do it. You just have to learn to sit. And if divine does not want you to progress beyond just peaceful relaxation meditation, you will not. It's that simple. This was my calling, my life calling, my destiny. So it all happened very, very quickly. I went from not meditating and not even really hearing much about it, or just thinking it was, an Eastern practice, to awakening Kundalini in, say, like 3 years. But for the actual onset of meditation to awaken Kundalini was less than, I started meditating seriously in like 2008, and I awakened Kundalini in November 2009. So it was less than a year when I started to sit and do it. But there was preparation before that. I started having dreams, very, very vivid dreams at night, and part of it was things that were happening in my life then. The rest of the dreams pertained to this experience, and some of them are backwards. like it would say go, and I really am supposed to stay. Just kind of weird things like that, which is what this whole realm is like. A lot of it is contrary to what you're told. So anyway, meditation is the primary method I used with Raha Yoga. When I started Raha Yoga, it was less than 6 months. So I attained no mind in about 2 weeks. I continued meditating. I became vegetarian, pescatarian, because I was told to continue eating fish. And was all a preparation for now and for a healthier human anatomy. Every culture around the planet has like what I call a piece to the puzzle. They all have a little something that is useful in awakening Kundalini, and all of their traditions I studied briefly and then drew from them what divine guided me as to what was really important. And so if you want to awaken Kundalini, you need to start quieting your life. You need to start to sit and meditate. You need to be gentle with yourself. You can't force no mind. You can't force your thoughts to go away. After you go no mind, you'll start to see images and like clouds and colors kind of swirling behind your closed eyelids, and that's all normal. The Kundalini awakening is driven by divine, and God is very active in all of creation. Star people help certain star nations like the Palladians, aka Nordics, the Anunnaki. They have told me that they didn't start out as warrior nations. They were actually very gentle, loving, peaceful people. They have populated many planets in the cosmos, and over time they have become warriors. So they don't mean to be harmful, but that's what they told me. That's who they are. So there's a lot of different star nations on Earth. They walk among you quietly. They don't sit there and say, "Hey, I'm a breatharian. I breathe the light." They'll eat even though they don't have to. But they'll do that in order to fit into society, and they're all here primarily to help advance humans. And there's a couple of bad ones, like everything, but for the most part, aliens, star people, are really good, and their intent is to help.